LinkedIn's too. All right. As always, we're back. Contractor Compass. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even look. I don't even know what episode this is. Does anybody know?
405.
Yeah. I think it's like 35 or 36 or something. I don't know. You guys will see it in the title. I don't even remember. Tom, what I was saying, though, on a side note, we do need to reconnect our LinkedIns to this because we are currently only streaming to YouTube. And Facebook has been a problem. So I don't know if we can do that again there. But anyway. Busy guys, busy. Jesus, we're just kind of picking up where we were just a second ago. Yeah, running all over the place. Jason's trying to coach a D1 athlete and kicking people's asses, and man, Tom's at some kind of biker event every other weekend. I don't know what he does on his spare time.
That's it. But I do want to know, she hit in her first year of jiu-jitsu, she hit 115 wins. So
that's sick.
Yeah, so it's nuts, man. We went to like 35 competitions, and she's got big ADCC coming up in Worlds. So we're trying to prepare for that. So it's crazy.
How old is she again?
Yeah.
How old is she again, Jason?
She's 8. So she's 8, and she weighs 53 pounds. And last weekend we put her in 10 and 11-year-old, 85 pounds.
Yeah.
And she smoked them.
Really?
It looked like David and Goliath. You got little her coming out, and then this big person running out to the mat. And she hunts for the neck, so she'll dogfight up to the neck every time. So
that's actually sick. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. She's been doing really well, so we're kind of working pretty hard with her and trying to position her for good stuff, man. But as every parent knows, it's a time suck.
100%. Yeah, that's your life now.
Yeah, I mean, it literally turns into this becomes our life.
Yeah, correct.
We're literally moving our home.
Moving to find gyms.
That's insane. So yeah, I'm hoping the other kids don't want to do dancing at somewhere else or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. How about you, Tom? What have you been up to besides the dentist office? I don't know what that one was there.
I had a little dental issue right in the middle of that. So anyway, last time I was on, so forgive me for that. Jason is quite the smart ass sometimes. I think he's in a dentist office. Of course, I did text and say I have to go to the dentist office.
The fact that Jason called it where you were was unbelievable. You're like, he's in a lawyer's office or a dentist's office. And I'm like, hey, no way.
It's the decor, man. It's the decor.
God, that was funny. That's good, though. Otherwise, you guys been busy timing. And how's the finance side coming?
All is well. All is well. It's we're finishing out September and heading to the illustrious shoulder season in the HVAC.
For sure. Yeah, we're
regroup, building some new programs. Got a lot of exciting things going. Yeah, just been busy.
454B is the nightmare for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
no, 100%.
It's been one of them things. So
yeah, we've heard. I luckily I'm a little bit separated from that, but we've heard a lot of complaints to like the account manager stuff with issues. It's nuts. It's
nuts. We've had been changing lines and jumping over to R32 and distributors, and I mean, people's relationships are like between distributors and business owners is getting fractured because of it. And people, I mean, I've even had people reach out to me from past clients I used to work with, like, man, what are you doing in this situation?
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Yeah. And then pushing in the shoulder season now, it's like, that's a whole different beast. We're dealing with that too. Just like planning out campaigns and copy changes. And it's difficult doing like luckily we have like automations to help with this. But like every account manager, right, has like different partners in different locations and different seasons and with different things that change at different times. And it's like, that's kind of a bear. It's kind of funny because like, we don't deal with that as much as like the installation side at all, right? Because it's pretty much the same pain points all the time. It could be summer and you had uneven, heating, cooling in your home. It could be winter and you have uneven. But usually this time of year, installation gets hot.
Absolutely.
Right. They're just gearing up, and then HVAC tends to slow down a little bit. But it'll be interesting this year. We're trying to pivot, or not pivot, but like trying to coach a lot of our guys. A lot of our clients are just like testing the waters to see how capable they are with like sales processes with getting in the door, not on estimates for new systems, right? Which is like IAQ or something like that. Because very few companies can actually pull that off.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like whiny sales guys that are like, oh, I sold an IAQ product for $700 and the lead cost me $500 to acquire or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
After booked and sold and whatever. And it's like, yeah, you weren't meant to go in there and just sell IAQ.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, yeah, it may happen like that, but even if you're at the very least planting the seed, replacing the system, putting them on maintenance agreements, whatever, I don't care. Anyway, it's kind of an interesting concept, but I did pick a topic for today. Something that I was working on with a current partner and that we're looking to implement in some other companies, not like helping, but just like ones I work a little bit more closely with. Old school stuff, not necessarily door knocking. I had that in the title, right? Because I want to talk about that a little bit, but like old school SDR teams. So one thing that we've implemented on our end, and we've worked with a lot of clients, and it's usually the biggest. I don't want to say most successful because that doesn't always, the biggest and the most successful don't always go hand in hand. But like usually companies that are cooking, I mean, really cooking, a lot of them have big outbound teams.
Yeah.
Like 5 to 15 people. And of course they're remote in this day and age. They're not in an office somewhere, but they're like just scraping lists and banging phones. And it's funny because in like my world, I've always leaned on paid. And then we implemented an SDR team for us as well for outbound, right? And it's like, why weren't we doing this earlier?
That epiphany hits, right?
Yeah, it's like, why? Like, it's not that hard to set up and put everybody on some game right now. If you use high level, or you're working with a marketing company that does use high level, we just implemented a dialer called Wave, WAVV. It is so sick. It has spam protection, right? So you don't show up as spam to customers. Right now, keep in mind, if you're running an outbound SDR team, like an actual one that's pushing volumes, thousands of dials a day, or depending on how many people you have or whatever, you're not going to call from your cell phone, right? So you need a power dialer. We use Wave. It integrates right into high level. It can dial 3 lines at a time. The person like that oversees the SDR team can hop into live calls and listen without the customer hearing them. They can talk to their team member without the customer knowing they're talking to them.
That's perfect.
It's insane, and everything's recorded and everything's tracked, so you can see exact output of your team. But I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I was talking about that with a good friend of mine. Owns a couple of companies in the space. And it was like, yeah, we're building out SDR teams in the few of the businesses, and I put them onto the same power dialer. But that can really push a lot of volume.
Oh, yeah.
If you have the right people doing the appointment setting.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, it results in a ton of no-show. But I think sometimes that's overlooked as like, oh, like that's like too old school, or it's too obnoxious, or I don't want to be that company or whatever. It's like, okay, that's fine.
Right. Well, you guys just be missing out.
But this is what it's going to cost you.
Yeah, and the crazy part is it kind of goes back to a conversation I was having literally just, I think it was yesterday or the day before with an individual, and we were kind of talking about the nostalgia feel, right? And it was leaning more towards the health aspect, how everybody in society is now kind of like the next generation is understanding. We grew up in a generation where fast food came out, the dyes, the candies, all this stuff. But it was the convenience, the microwave generation, right? Here's all this stuff. But then it turned into the convenience of it, turned into very unhealthy ways of eating and had a bad result. The marketing world has kind of similarly done the same thing, where it's gone in the direction of the convenience of it because of the web, the digital. Not that it's bad.
Yeah.
But we all forgot about the home cooking side of it, making your own bread at home, doing that, right? The knocking on the doors, the outbound dialing where it's a human person that's actually calling people. The generation and even the next generation is adapting back, even in the health side, they're going back to the home cooking.
For sure.
They're doing the homesteading, right? They're getting very health conscious on what's going in. No more food dyes, no more of these type of oils. Well, on the digital side or on the marketing side, they're starting to do the same thing. Hey, man, we kind of got to go back to our roots where grandpa used to do this, where he used to know everybody in the community, he used to call them, or wherever they are in the United States, you know, if it's national or not. So I think really, and I told him, I said, dude, it was like a 50-year span where we focus on convenience, but everybody said, okay, really probably didn't work as well. Let's kind of go back to what was true and what worked.
Yeah.
And I think in a lot of different spaces, we're seeing that, whether it be health, whether it be marketing, whether it be fitness, whatever it be.
Yeah.
The convenience aspect, really, yes, it may be quicker and convenient, but does it always generate the best outcome?
Yeah, 100%.
And we can see that time and time again, that 9 times out of 10, it doesn't.
Yeah. And why would you not want to be, you know, multiple influx of you know, leads, revenue, whatever.
And add it into it, right? Like, it's not, you got to let it go. Keep the convenience, right? Keep the speed, because you got to stay up to speed and up to times.
Yeah.
But also, you got to sprinkle in a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, 100%, without a doubt. Yeah, it was just kind of like this aha moment that I was having, obviously, because like in the marketing space, it was like, okay, like I don't care about that at all. Now, obviously, as I've gotten a little deeper into like these companies and looking at them for myself and things, whatever, I'm like, okay, like this makes more sense. And then like I said, I implemented it for us. So this really wasn't that hard to set up. Personnel can be difficult, right? Also another just like golden nugget that we've had really good success with. And this, I've not only myself, but there's other people that I'm good friends with that actually run like sales agencies, if you will. So they place hundreds of salespeople. Where I'm finding the best hires right now is LinkedIn ads.
Oh yeah.
They're crushing for me. And the other ones that people that I've told them about. So, if you're looking to hire SDRs or like outbounds or anything like that, that LinkedIn does really well. Just like posting a job. It's not necessarily like a LinkedIn ad. It's a job post that you can boost and put money behind or whatever. But anyway,
how expensive is that?
Say that again.
How expensive is that on LinkedIn?
Not bad at all. So like, for example, I like to spend like, it'll recommend you to spend like $70 a day. I spend like $15, $20 and I'll have 40 applications in 3 days.
I've been using Indeed and it's terrible.
Yeah, do LinkedIn. 100% do LinkedIn. And AI will help you write most of it. Just make sure that it writes it correctly. And my recommendation is do not let them send applicants to your email. Create like a form. If you already have one, just link the form. If you don't have one, just create one simple form, like type form or something. And then just put the link there that they can apply through. And then you'll see the applicants roll in. But yeah, it's super freaking easy. If you're going to launch something, I recommend launching something on like Thursday because it'll crush over the weekend. You'll get a ton of applications. Let it run for like 5 days, turn it off, and then return it back on. Because I have found that out with LinkedIn. It kind of dies after 5 days and you just waste money after that. You'll get a couple applicants here and there, but it crushes the first like 5 days.
Yeah. Nice.
And you'll spend $300 and have 50 applicants.
Yeah. And you're going to have a higher caliber applicant, I feel.
Agreed completely. Agreed 100%. I very rarely get crappy applicants, like ones that are like unbelievably crappy through LinkedIn. Another side note that I do, absolutely mandatory, but the last slide of my form says film a Loom video about why you're looking for a new role and your relative experience.
Yeah.
And like, I literally go through the applications and I don't look at anybody's name, details, answers to their questions, not a damn thing. Did they film the Loom video or did they not? Did they send me a link to a Google Drive or film the Loom video? Oh, Google Drive, I don't give a shit.
That's it.
That is really
we call those elevator pitches.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. We did that when I was in HVAC school. Before we got out, it was crazy. This dude was like straight up blue collar guy. He's like, listen, man, you guys want to get a job out there? You want to be different? Create an elevator pitch. Get a quick 30 to a minute video of yourself talking about your experiences. Add that in. He's like, and you'll have more people call you. Literally added that into my resume when I first started into the business, and it was blowing up. And almost every time somebody said, I have never seen that.
Yeah.
So that's a really unique way to get seen because they get to see your personality, right? They get to do this right here without even having to go through the whole appointment setup, do a Zoom link and everything.
Man, 100.
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, 100%. So that has been crushing. Yeah. Anyway, so like once again, if somebody's listening to this, and we'll have to repost this to Facebook and LinkedIn today just because it's not streaming, but yeah, so that'll be helpful. And then obviously like SDR teams outbound, and then like going even a step further into that, if you're doing it like scraping lists. So you can scrape lists. You can find companies that scrape lists.
Yeah.
So that's not hard. Just scrape a list. If you're wondering, like, where do I get these customers from? Do I have to buy leads from people? No, you don't. Just go scrape lists of homeowners. That's it. Fairly simple. What are your, how do you guys feel about like the door knocking side? I know a lot of guys a lot of guys absolutely live and breathe it and love it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are like, oh, the overhead is too much. And I'm like, I also don't understand that either. Cause I'm like, okay, overhead is too much. Are you paying hourly? I'm like, what do you, I don't understand. Like what do you spend on paid ads? Cause paid ads are expensive as shit now.
Yeah.
And it's like, anyway, what are you guys' thoughts there?
Yeah, I'll let Tom go.
I grew up in the rent-to-own industry, and we used to go to the neighborhoods and do door knockers. Basically, knock on the door, like, hey, what we offer, things like that. But an awful lot of HVAC companies, and Jason, you can probably speak more to this, but in other words, when you go to visit this house, you have these marketing knockers that you put one on each side and right across the street. You at least hit 4 houses on every stop you hit. And it's like, hey, we're working with your neighbor, call us for a discount or something. But that's real cheap, inexpensive.
And are you talking like just on service calls? Like, or if you're on calls or install calls, like you're putting on the 2 doors next to the home and you're just hanging it on the door, or are you like knocking and introducing yourself?
Well, obviously those guys are going to take the path of least resistance. But in other words, if you create a verbal knocker, printed that hangs on the doorknob that says, hey, we're in your area, we're working with one of your neighbors, we give you X amount of percentage off of a new install or a service, whatever. If you can get them to knock on the door, that's great. But at the worst case scenario, if they hit 2 on this side and 2 across the street, from where they're stopping, that's a pretty quick hit for five impressions, as they say.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And to kind of build off that, we use the same concept, but one way that we started doing it, especially if you work in a world where you have like apprentices. So what we do is we'll have apprentices go out and they ride and they're $19 an hour, right? They're usually going to be on the job learning. But our people are on the job for about 1.5 to 2 hours. So we have the apprentice go out with a big old stack of door hangers. And that's what they do. The journeyman goes inside, the apprentice walks the streets up and down, and he spends about a good 1 or 2 hours on one call, just pamphleting the entire neighborhood. And then we go to the next neighborhood. He does the same exact thing there. And then when you're running 4 or 5 calls a day and you're able to hit 30 houses at each call, I mean, you're racking up anywhere between in a week close to 1,000 different homes that you've hit with just these flyers, but with a personal touch to it. So that has definitely generated a lot. And it's with somebody that's not as high or paid, like sending out a journeyman or having an install.
Yeah, that's a waste of time.
Because we did it back in the day where, hey, installs, when you get out there, put the yard sign in there, hit exactly what Tom said, hit the couple houses on both sides. It was kind of hit and miss. It was like, it happened sometimes. Then like, dude, we just had to get to the install, get it done. It didn't happen. So now we specifically make it part of the job description. Like, you got to earn your place, right? You need to start marketing and advertising first. Get that out there. Get to know the neighborhood, the community. If you're comfortable with that, then you're going to move forward. So
yeah, 100%. Can you guys think of anything else that maybe has gotten lost in manual output besides like door knocking and SDR teams? Is there anything else that I think those are really the main things. Is there anything else I'm missing?
No, I mean, just your regular basic community outreach.
Yeah, right? Like grassroots stuff.
You gotta just be involved in your community.
Yeah, baseball.
Try to make sure you're on the board of trust, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and they have different events that go on and stuff like that. Like in the neighborhood, they have the neighborhood I live in's a bedroom community, and they have the local West Chase. The West Chase is. It's a run or whatever, it's a fundraiser or whatever. You can set up booths in there and hand out, koozies or whatever the case would be.
Yeah.
But you get that local, you're giving out that local feel like, hey, I'm a part of this community type situation.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I think that I think those are definitely great things. And I think those are things that like don't expect an immediate return on, obviously. Like put up the whatever it takes you, the time and the money for the materials and whatever, and then just you're gonna see it trickle in through whether it's just the door hangers without talking to people, or like even like handing out koozies and stuff locally. I think in terms of like scalability, actual door knocking teams and SDRs, definitely SDRs are more volume for sure. Like
absolutely.
Far. That's what really caught my attention, or like drawn my attention to that side of things recently, because they can be done a really bad way and a really good way, and like personnel is the most important thing. So that's something we're testing too, is like, how do you guys usually, or what have you seen for structuring pay for like SDR teams within the home service space? Like, what do you usually see?
Well, so typically a lot of stuff that we would utilize would be more of third parties.
Okay.
So we don't get involved too much in that side of the pay. We just pay the flat fee.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So like what I've seen, or what we're doing, right? And I think the more you pay, the better. I think, I'll tell you if that theory ends up being wrong. And what I mean by that is like they're performance based anyways, right? So it's like they get paid per shown appointment. And then maybe if you really want to be generous, like a percentage of revenue of, sale. And, that way, I think if it's enough pay per appointment, like to where they have an OTE that's like really aggressive, obviously I think you're going to get the best candidates. And then you create like this, what we're seeing too, is then you create like this flywheel of talent for like comfort advisors, or in our case, closers. Right now, obviously a little bit different world going from an SDR in an HVAC company to a comfort advisor.
Yeah.
Right. But not really. Right.
Yeah.
Comfort advisors they're just guys off the street. Right. Yeah. They're just guys that are good at sales. Right. So if you can get really good on the phone, and you can have this flywheel of talents, like, okay, I want to close the jobs. I want to do 2.6 million a year in rev for the company and close, like whatever. That's another thing I've seen as well, is like it creates this, if you have the right culture, like it will create this like flywheel of talent on the sales force.
Yeah.
And they're paid well initially, so you're not getting crap people, right? So you have the people there to even, potentially be salespeople in the future. Let's just say they don't even become salespeople. Who gives a damn? Yeah. But like the people that are actually in the seats are good in the first place because they're paid aggressively. Because like what I've seen a lot of time, and this is in the marketing space, so it might be different. What I've seen a lot of times, like 40, 50 bucks per shown appointment. Like that's not very much, right? Yeah. And then if they're not getting a percentage of ad spend,
right? Like, exactly. Yeah.
Or not, a percentage of sale. Yeah. That's not much at all. Now, obviously, marketing space is a little bit different. Like we pay $150 per appointment and percentage of sale, to where they can have a really aggressive structure. Now, obviously, like I said, marketing space is different. Ours are completely performance based, no base whatsoever. There's, it's remote, but also home service space, you can be remote as well. You don't have to be in the office, if you're calling and setting appointments. So,
100%. Yeah. And that's one of the, in one of the big spaces, as far as the pay definitely comes into play all the time with anybody. It's the motivator. Unfortunately, we're in a day and age where everybody wants, minimum $50 an hour to start.
Yeah, no shit.
For a non-skilled position. But so you're going to get in a real worse position on skilled. But another way to generate really good leads that we've been doing lately that has helped is, some companies do this already, but the B leads, where if you do have your comfort advisors and things like that, set them in the truck with a service guy and send them out, together. Now, we've also done it to where we've had our, depending on who you have for a comfort advisor, if you have a call come in, instead of sending the service guy is really going to be there to repair, unless they're very smart and business savvy. But if they got a goal they got to hit themselves, they're looking for the $3,000 to $5,000 to repair, right? Because at the end of the day, they're going to do, what's best for them to hit their goal. So they're not wanting to pass off a tech lead all the time. Yep. So what's really kind of helped us generate a ton of tech leads lately is we've been sending out our comfort advisor when we hear, anything that's over 7 years old, and he's a little well-versed. He came from the HVAC world anyway, so it's not like a car salesman.
Yeah.
So he can go out there, he can diagnose, but he's been flipping these things rather quickly. So it's been one of the big transition pieces for us that we found out, either if his day's a little bit slower, we pay our guy salary plus commission. So we're not going to just let him, he can bang the phones out all day long, but he can also sit in a truck with somebody and actually meet people face to face.
100%. Rather do that, or at least.
So that's been a big change for us. That's really helped us generate a lot more tech leads on that side for comfort advisors.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're just going by like age of system. So anything over 7 years, if he has time, pop in. Are you splitting time between outbound calls and that, or is it just been so? I mean, I can imagine it being just way more beneficial to have him ride and ignore the phone completely.
Yeah, so he's really just been doing he's either been riding or he'll just go take the call himself. Because of his knowledge. Now, you can't do that with every company advisor. We're very fortunate, but there's times where I tell them, hey, listen, our dispatchers know if you get a call and the person's like, yeah, my system's 7 years old, something's going on with it, I always send him first. Instead of sending the tech, because the service tech is going to go out there and he's going to like, yeah, we can replace it, do some more of this, $3,000 ticket, and not really explain very well, like, hey, repair, replace situation, opposed to obviously the sales guy is going to be helping on the replace. Why dump $3,000 into an old system? It makes no sense.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, that's hard to, I mean, you can even do that if you don't have one that's as knowledgeable as that, right?
Yeah.
Have like 100%. A comfort advisor, send them with the tech.
Yeah.
Have them there to be part of the process. If it looks like it needs to be, like, have them actually talking to the customer during the process so he doesn't come out of nowhere as a salesperson. Like, I'd even have them wear the same goddamn shirt. Like, don't have them in a white shirt and,
they do.
That's the sales guy.
Yeah. Yeah. We have them, they all dress like technicians.
Yeah.
And we really picked up on it when I would do ride outs with my guys. And then our service techs would be out there hanging out, doing their thing, going through whatever process. And then I noticed that, like, hey man, you really got to communicate a little bit more with the homeowner, trying to get them through the process. But I found myself really having a good dialogue with the customer, why the technician was doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found out was that's when I was able to kind of steer them a little bit more in a direction that I felt would benefit them more on the replacement side, but be able to articulate to them a little bit better the replacement opposed to the repair, and saving funds and long-term and having a warranty back in their pocket. And that's when that really kind of like, hey man, why don't we just send our sales guy with these guys? And there's some companies out there that do that, that I've heard more down south. But it's actually, it's a great way. If you've got a company advisor, you're struggling to get them leads, and it's just that seasonality type, but you're still getting a bunch of service calls coming through, man, put them in the truck and just have them roll out with them.
100%. Tommy, you look like you're going to say something.
Just commenting on, it's always, like Air Around the Clock, which I'm affiliated with, they've got a ton of service techs, and they get the sales techs, and they look at the data, they ask in the inbound call, like, how old is your system? And obviously if it's, 6 years or younger, they're going to send a service tech. If it's, in the later years, they're going to want to send a sales tech or whatever the case may be is. But, it's interesting of return on investment, right? Like, do you send a sales tech to a guy that probably it's a drain line? No, you don't, so right. From that standpoint. So it's just, it can be a bit of a crapshoot, because a drain line can turn into a hot water heater and an HVAC and potentially a water system or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting, honestly, that's an interesting game. And obviously I the only time I'm involved with this right now, right, is like when we're going through, and I don't even do that anymore, like on triage calls or discovery calls with potential partners. But like when we're looking at, like, hey, what kind of sales process do you run? Do you have a production role selling technician? Do you have comfort advisors? And it's so interesting because you hear both ways, like, oh, I'd never have selling technicians, or oh, I'd never have comfort advisors, or, whatever, that way doesn't work, or this way doesn't work. And the truth is both of them work. But God, how sick does a team become when you have somebody who's just does both? Right?
Yeah.
Like actually really good at both.
100%.
Right? Like, that's a dangerous combination.
It is. And that's why a lot of owners stick in that role for so long.
Yes.
Because they are so good, and they know, like, hey, if I let this go, I'm generating 200 minimum every month in sales. And if I let that go, and then a regular comfort advisor, they'll come in. I mean, you can get a good comfort advisor that does, right around 150, but you got to dump a ton of money into leads to really set them up for success. And you got to have some good quality leads. You got to be running a minimum of 3 to 4 leads a day.
Yeah.
Especially in the climate we're in right now. So average tickets are still 11.5 up to 12, maybe with the 454 changeover, but there wasn't a huge spike in price. So average tickets aren't going through the roof. So you have to get creative and really utilize your time, maximize the time and be efficient with your people. Get them as much exposure as possible. Try the B-lead thing first while you're running them out with the technicians. Like you said, Cole, that was a big point. Don't put them in freaking khakis and, Dockers and all this other crazy stuff. Make sure they look just like the technician. They're going out, it's 2 and 2. A lot of people are very used to 2 and 2. But your sales guy is not being presented as a sales guy. Because that's usually we prohibit that on the phone when like, hey, well, we can go and we can get a comfort advisor out. Like we don't say that. Like it's a technician that's going to come out, even if it's a sales guy. We'll get the comfort advisor out, or we'll get the project manager out. Things like that start to kind of throw red flags for some individuals to an extent, like, oh man, I'm about to get sold, right?
Yeah.
So we try to limit that wall as much as possible with our verbiage up front. But then even with our parents when we get there, like don't look all, frumpy, missing teeth and everything. But you gotta get in there and still kind of know what you can do.
Yeah. That's actually interesting. Now that I think about it too, and I've reviewed calls with our SDR team. Not mine for our outbound, but like our SDR team for our partners.
Yeah.
When we're setting appointments, we always use technician. We never use comfort advisor, which is funny. I've never put that together because when I explain the process, when I've explained it in the past, it's like, when I'm explaining like our call process, like, we'll get I'm just getting quotes. No worries. We'll get a comfort advisor out there, but we definitely have technician in our scripting.
Yeah.
Which is good to think about, but.
Take that out.
Literally, you said that, and I was like, "Do we say that?" I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really kind of the
some people won't have
common knowledge.
Some people, will be like, okay, that's like, nobody wants to be sold,
Right. Yeah, but it works out pretty good, man. I mean, like I said, if people are struggling out there, and I know time's a little tough right now for a lot of companies, I still speak to a lot of them, as I know you guys do.
Yeah.
And, that's really where, especially you, Cole, people are coming to you because this is their need, right?
Yeah.
They need these leads. And the profitability, yes, to start, you want to start probably, on, a little bit of install service side. I'd say more on the service side just right now because everything had to change. But if you're struggling for them leads, you've got to utilize that time. Now, if you got someone that's 100% commission, I mean, you can still run it the same way. You just got to kind of tiptoe around how you're utilizing their time.
100%.
So don't be scared about paying a small base and then just get them in there like a regular employee.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to misconstrue that. My world's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right. When I'm talking about our sales guys in the marketing space, right? Like they're on, one of them sitting in Medellin, right? He's on vacation his whole entire life because he can be. Like he doesn't need a base, right?
No.
But
that's funny.
but anyway, so cool. Any final wrapping stuff? This was kind of a nice little BS session, something we haven't talked about. Also, like things that I'm learning along the way that I'm getting more into, and things that we haven't really touched on that, hey, don't forget about the old shit. Do a lot of outbound, do the hard stuff. If you can't do it, it's going to take some time to get the right scripting and get the right process and the right dialer and the right lists and the right stuff. Start now, because when you do, it's like, wow, okay, we just added another $150,000 a month from nowhere.
That's it. Yeah. And once you see that change and once you just take, it's like with everything, man, once you take the steps, that's the hardest part, is just getting into it.
Yeah.
Once you do it, you're fine.
Yeah. Implement fast.
Yeah.
Last final thoughts that I'll put out here. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, this year, personally, back up before I say I'm talking to a friend of mine. At the end of last year, I was like, I wasn't satisfied with where we were as a marketing firm. And I was like, okay, like something needs to change. And obviously marketing was hard last year with the election, and God, it sucked. It was terrible. And I was like, okay, something needs to I want to change something. And I looked at I have a list. I still have this list on my whiteboard sitting in front of me on my window. And it was like 6 things or whatever. And I did them all at the same time. And I was like, we're doing all of them. Like, I remember my director of operations was like, holy shit, like I like this. Like, I like this version. It's kind of like I was doing, you know how it is. You get in a business long enough, you kind of lose the fire maybe a little bit until something kicks you in the ass.
Yeah.
And that's what it did. Is it kicked me in the ass. And I was like, okay, we're changing all of this. We're doing all of these things. And I did that recently with our like I did that first with our product, the service, the team, the structure, everything. And then recently I've done that with our sales team. And I'm talking, I picked 4 things and I did all of them, but I did them fast and they weren't always right. And yes, I lost money, but it accomplished what it was supposed to. Like I moved in the right direction. Like it worked. Right now, who's to say which one moved the needle more? Right. But like I was talking to a buddy of mine and he's kind of struggling with how to scale his business, a little bit different business. And he like picks one thing and he tries it. It takes a little bit of money. He's got plenty of money to spend, but he's just kind of being a bitch about it. and you know, he picks it and it doesn't work, or it works kind of. He's like, okay. And then he spent 3 months figuring out the next thing he's gonna do. Yeah. It's like, dude, find 5 things and fucking do them all.
Just do them all.
You're gonna lose. You're not gonna do them all perfect. You're gonna lose money on some.
That's it.
We did like a new AI outbound calling process to see if it could compete with live setters. I probably lost 10 grand on that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like it was trash compared to real people. But like it doesn't matter because I still built a real person team at the same time. So one of them worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so
that's it.
Implement fast. Make your list. Nothing's gonna be perfect. You know, money loves speed type of deal. So.
Yep. And I always tell people, and I tell this to everybody, it doesn't matter what you're doing in life, you got to fail to win.
100%.
So there's no one person on this planet that has just won their entire life.
Yeah.
There's a lesson in every failure. So failure is not a failure if you extract data or if you experience or something away from it. It's not a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't fail till you quit.
Yeah, that's it. I had that. That was on my board. Had this big old poster with a line right there, and that's exactly what it says.
Don't quit, Jace.
Don't quit. Don't do it, man. But it was and that's one big thing they instill in a lot of the kids, right? You know, 100%. Even though you took a loss, you didn't lose, you learned.
Yeah. So. Yeah, 100%. I was talking to my wife about that the other day. I was like, I had somebody ask me in a group call, like how we've grown and how we're doing what we're doing or whatever. And we're not anything special, but in the marketing space, we've done something kind of impressive, right? Like most guys from us, like that are like start like me, a kid in a sunroom, are disappear within a month, right, or a year or whatever. We've been here for almost 6 years now, and we've only grown. So anyway, point being, I remember when I was growing up, and I knew nothing about business or whatever, but I've never really been a quitter by any means. And I remember when I was looking at like business in general, because coming from a kid who, you doesn't come from money, doesn't come from business, nothing, like no idea, no freaking clue. Yeah. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I remember this like 18, 17. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I didn't have a business idea or anything. I was like, I want that. Yeah. And I'll just never quit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just keep doing it. Yeah.
If you do that, right, you can't 100%. Lose. You can't lose.
That's it. So, I mean, that's exactly it. You just got to show up.
Yeah, unbeatable.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the hardest lesson right there. Just show up.
100%. 100%. All right, guys, I'll let you rip. I got another meeting to jump into. I'm sure you guys all do as well. Maybe see you next week. We'll connect beforehand, and then I'll get this on LinkedIn and stuff too. So if we want to pop that link around. See you guys.
See you, boys. Have fun.
The next one. Bye.
Hey.
Yeah.